Alundra was a decent Zelda-like game for the PS1 that didn't get a lot of attention at the time it came out, but has grown a bit of following over the years, which I support. I know I was a little critical in my review, but seriously, you should give this game a go. A few years later, a sequel came out called Alundra 2. Except that it stars different characters, takes place in a different setting, has a different storyline, the gameplay is completely different, and the visual style is completely different as well. Turns out this was an unrelated action-adventure game that was made by the same developers as the first Alundra game, and the publisher just slapped Alundra 2 on it because reasons. So if you loved the first Alundra game, then don't get your hopes up too high with this one. But it's not the game's fault that it was given a misleading title, so maybe we should judge it by its own merits. After all, Troll 2 has absolutely nothing to do with Troll 1, but it's still a very entertaining comedy. Granted, it wasn't intended to be a comedy, but that doesn't change the fact that it's very entertaining. In Alundra 2, you take control of Flint, a pirate hunter who, as you might expect, is hunting down ninjas. No, he's hunting down pirates, of course. And honestly, I'm not entirely sure why. In fact, the story is a little confusing. If I tried, I could probably figure out what was going on, but that would require caring, which the game didn't get me to do. This game provides an interesting contrast with the first Alundra game. While Alundra stuck to 2D and polished itself so that it holds up quite nicely even in 2018, Alundra 2 jumped into 3D and ended up aging really badly. The graphics are really wonky, the gameplay is okay but nothing special, and it clearly had a lot of ambition that it didn't have the budget and or talent to make a reality. Most early 3D games are at least a little dated, usually with the graphics and the smaller size of the game's world being the most obvious signs. But good early 3D games like Ocarina of Time or Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver managed to hold up pretty well by maximizing their strengths while minimizing their weaknesses. They first make sure that the gameplay is really good, and while they incorporate more narrative elements than 2D games of the past, they make sure that the narrative serves the gameplay and doesn't get in the way. Alundra 2 fails in both of these areas, as the gameplay is rather mediocre, and the story interrupts the flow of things a lot. I wouldn't say Alundra 2 is a terrible game, but aside from an admittedly decent sense of humor and some creative ideas here and there, it's nothing special, and not something I ever see myself playing ever again. Like I said, check out the first Alundra, it's worth your time. But Alundra 2 is not, and therefore this is one game you can definitely skip. My final score is a 5 out of 10. Anyways, have you played any of the Alundra games? Which one did you like better? Whatever you think, be sure to let me know in the comments below. If you like what I do, feel free to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.